So welcome to this new episode of This Week in Tech. I hope you guys are doing fine. I unfortunately got COVID, but I have no symptoms, so I guess that's fine because I have a lot of time to spend reading about tech news and tell you everything about this. And the other good news is that you cannot give COVID through the internet. So sit back, relax, you can watch this video safely, knowing that I have a lot of cool stuff to tell you. I'm gonna tell you about a new social media app that has had amazing results, all the cool new stuff that happened to CES in automotive and robotics, and a self-driving tractor that promises to revolutionize farming. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start with this new social media app. You may think, oh my god, another social media app, but I promise you, this is pretty cute, it's pretty fun. So let's try to understand what it is. Let's start with the results. The app launched on New Year's Eve, and by the 10th of January, it had more than 2 million downloads, and it reached the top position of the US App Store, which is crazy. And to give you an idea about how the app works, I'm gonna tell you the story, because it's also very cute. The app was developed by a guy called Matt Moss, who's a computer scientist, and he was in a long-distance relationship with his girlfriend. So he thought, you know what, it would be cute if, for her birthday last summer, I could build an app that could allow me to send her a picture, and this picture will show up as a widget on her home screen. That sounds really nice, huh? And I know what you're thinking. They may have used it also for naughty stuff, but Matt Moss is a good guy, okay? He's chill, so don't think about this. Anyway, on New Year's Eve, Matt thought, well, I'm gonna publish this. I'm gonna let anybody have an app where they can push pictures to the home screen of their friends. And the app exploded, even though it's super simple. But I think there are two reasons why this app had this amazing success. First one, it's because it's very intimate. If you think about it, Instagram, Twitter, all the content from your friends and family is completely diluted with the selfies from Kim Kardashian or with Elon Musk obsessing about some new cryptocurrency. Whereas this app allows you to have a nice personal space that you can share with your friends and close ones, which I guess is pretty nice. But the other reason is that virality is embedded in how the app works. If you want to use the app, you need to ask your friends to download it. And unless your friends just have you as a friend, which will be weird, they're gonna ask their friends as well. So the app has been growing like crazy, also thanks to some viral TikTok videos that pushed the downloads of the app. Now, I think the open question is whether Matt is gonna be able to turn this from a simple feature, a fun little gadget, to a social media app and hopefully into a business. We'll see, but I am gonna download it. It sounds fun. Let me know if you're gonna do the same. The US company Gamestop announced that they're going to allow people to buy and sell NFTs on their platform. So let's quickly say what Gamestop is and what NFTs are. Gamestop is a company that was used to sell games through retail stores in the United States and all over the world. But the most important thing about GameStop is that it was a meme stock last year. What does it mean? People on a subreddit called Wall Street Bets last year decided to pump the stock super high to squeeze Wall Street investors that had shorted the stock. So GameStop is kind of a meme stock. It's a stock that people buy just because it's cool or just for the lols, how people say on the internet. NFTs, on the other hand, are digital tokens that represent ownership of some digital asset. That could be a picture, that could be a video, or in the case of GameStop, that could be an armor for a video game, it could be a skin for a video game, all these sort of digital assets. So I think this is going to be really interesting because GameStop is an internet company that is super hyped and people trade because they want to make money. NFTs are a technology that is super hyped and people trade because they want to make money. So what happens when you have a meme stock that people trade because they want to make money selling a meme technology that people sell because they want to make money? I guess it's going to explode. And that's what already happened. The company's stock went up 20% after the announcement. And I'm pretty sure that these guys are going to make a hell lot of money if the whole castle doesn't crumble, obviously. But let's check it out. I wish them the best. Some news from CES, which is the show about technology that happens every year in Vegas. The last year before the pandemic, CES had more than 170,000 attendants, and this year with the pandemic, just quote-unquote 40,000. But still, tech companies presented a lot of interesting stuff. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of the news that we've seen in the field of robotics. because there has been a video that became insanely viral of a robot called Ameca that looks exactly like the robots in the Will Smith movie. I think it's called Me Robot, I Robot, something like this. You know what I'm talking about. And so it's scaringly realistic. The face of this robot that has exactly the dimension of a human being, the height and arms and legs, it's able to move the muscles, so this fake skin, in a way that really resembles a human being. But a lot of people freaked out, and I freaked out as well, but it's important to say that this is just a shell. The AI behind it, so all the different algorithms that allow this robot to interact with the world, are pretty basic, and I will say not really advanced either. There's a part in the demo where the CEO of the company says that the robot can follow his finger. So he puts the finger in front of the robot and the robot is supposed to follow it. And as a data scientist, I can see that that was pretty slow. So it's a simple task, follow a finger. And if you notice, the robot takes a little bit of time to find the finger and start following it. And it's a super simple task, yet this robot can't really do it properly. So I want you to think about this. It looks super realistic, but it's just a shell. Everything behind it, which is what we care about if we want to have actual robots that are helpful, is pretty basic. But there was another company that released an amazing product. It makes me laugh just thinking about their name. The name of the company is Labrador Systems, and their product is called the Retriever. I love this company. I want to invest in them now just for the name. So this robot is a small little box basically that has a fridge inside. It follows you and has a robotic arm that extends and can give you the food so you can enjoy it from your couch. It sounds basic, but think about all the elderly people that have maybe issues moving or they want to be able to, have a comfortable meal from their comfortable couch. This robot can actually help people. And so that makes me think about something. Form is not really what matters today if we want to build robots that are useful for human being. You can have a gigantic, super cool, super realistic robot that is useless, and then a little box that actually helps people. Also, their name is amazing. I love Labradors. My family has a dog named Martin. We love him. So really, good job, Labrador Systems, for coming up with a robot that may actually be useful. Other news from CES are from the car industry. So BMW introduced a new kind of paint that allows you to change the color of your car from your smartphone. To be completely honest, it goes from white to black. So basically you can choose what's your favorite shade of gray for the day. But I have to say it's pretty cool to see the car change color and form geometric patterns when you click a button on an app. This is thanks to a technology called e-ink, which is basically the same tech that you have on a Kindle. So there are some electrical charges that flip some particles that have different colors. And so that's how you get all the different shades of gray. This is pretty interesting. It's pretty cool, super fun, but I can say it's just a gadget, right? It's not really revolutionizing the world of cars. And I think it makes us think about how a lot of traditional car companies are really struggling to try to keep up with Tesla, which is the company that really shook the car industry. There's been also another announcement from the Stellantis group, which is the result of the partnership between the Fiat Chrysler group and the Peugeot PSA group. They announced a partnership with Amazon, which it's, I think, very interesting because it basically means, hey, we are experts in wielding aluminium and building all these kind of big blocks of metal, but we really suck at software. So if we want to compete with Tesla, that basically changed completely the playing field from aluminum to software, we need to partner up with somebody that knows software, which is Amazon. So I think it's really interesting to see how all these companies are trying to compete with Tesla, who last week announced something pretty crazy, I think. So they have a new profile for the full self-driving car. I didn't know about this because the last time that I was in a self-driving Tesla was in 2016. But today, apparently, you can choose the profile that you want your car to have. So how it wants to self-drive itself. And before you had just two options, normal and chill, where chill was a little bit more distance from the other cars. This was for people that were freaking out about having a car drive itself. And now they have a new mode called assertive mode. Assertive mode is supposed to be a little bit more aggressive, so have shorter distances with the cars around it and perform what they call rolling stops. What does rolling stop mean? I guess it means that it doesn't stop at a stop sign, which is weird and scary, but Elon Musk has proved multiple times that he doesn't really care that much. He basically wants to push these cars and just try to see whether they work, I guess. But it's pretty interesting because it poses new questions around the user experience that we want to have in self-driving cars. And it again says how Tesla is a million steps ahead of the competition when it comes to self-driving. The last news of the week is also about self-driving, kinda, because there's a company called John Deere that is the leading producer of tractors for farming in the United States. And they announced their first self-driving tractor. They said that the user experience is gonna be set it and forget it, which basically means that you're gonna just set the path that you want your tractor to take, click, go, and the tractor goes. That's it. Pretty cool. Imagine how much time it's gonna free from farmers that don't have to sit on a tractor and just go around their fields doing whatever tractors do. I think something interesting to point out is that this is a super cool use case. If you think about it, in self-driving cars, there's a lot of things that can potentially go wrong. You have people crossing the streets, you have pedestrians, you have cyclists, you have other cars, you have all sort of stuff. But in a big giant field, you mostly have crops, so it's really hard to mess up. Great use case for self-driving, right? And John Deere was actually pretty smart about it as well, because they thought, well, if there's a problem, how are we going to handle it? Let's say that there's a dog on the field. What are we going to do? So they came up with two different systems. One is that there are some operators that can remotely access the data from the tractor, see what's happening, and if they see that it's just a dog, they can just move around, I guess, and not hit the dog. Or if it's something more complicated or something more risky, they can call the farmer who can take action. So it's pretty interesting, I think, because the amount of potential damage that they can do is very low, and they have systems in place to take care of all these corner cases. Really cool. Let's see who's going to use it and how it's going to change farming. Before I leave you, I want to tell you that I started my new community programs. In these community programs, you're going to get access not just to these videos, as well as all the research links that I had to read to know about this news, but you're also gonna get access to bi-weekly deep dives. These are 1.5 hour sessions that I do on Zoom where people can come in, listen to me speaking for 45 minutes about the most important topics in tech. I usually take just one, really dissect into the most important things and explain it well for 45 minutes. And then we participate in a conversation when together we try to understand how this new technology or this new trend is going to impact society. I'm going to leave the link so you can check out more information and join it if you want. I'll see you next week. Ciao!